Okay. See, I don't know what the heck I'm doing.
Huh?
Okay. It's doing something because that number's right there. Anyways, I'm just looking at the ground, so it doesn't matter. But anyways, we're here in Chicago, Illinois, at the grand opening of the Chicago Scientology Org. And I have found a resident that is nearby and thought I'd ask him a couple questions. So, do you know much about Scientology?
A little bit.
You know, they're a cult, obviously, I would say, yes or no?
I don't know. Most religions start as a cult.
Ah,
You know, I know they haven't been around for that long, so it depends what side of the bridge you're on. I would think.
you mean the
as far
bridge
as
to
their cult
total
status.
freedom?
Total freedom. I don't know what's total freedom to you.
Okay. Are you a Scientologist?
I'm not.
Okay. Can you say Xenu for me?
What?
Xenu.
Xenu?
Do you know who Xenu is?
I think Xenu is
Okay, well,
from another planet, right?
Okay, you said Xenu, so I'm going to say you're probably not a Scientologist. So, my question really is...
You're not a Scientologist undercover, are you?
Well, I just said Xenu, didn't I?
I don't know.
And I know...
Does that mean you are a Scientologist or not a Scientologist?
That means you're not, because you learn that on the OT3 level, which is on the way up the bridge.
Yeah.
And you learn about Xenu and Thetans, and this is a prison planet, and it's crazy stuff.
Sounds like a bummer for a lot of people.
Well,
sounds like it could be good for some people, but it sounds like a bummer for a lot of other people.
Well, it's just...
A prison planet, huh? That's a hard way to think about it.
Yeah, Earth is a prison planet, and they have to clear the planet.
Huh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It gets really deep. But
yeah, I believe that. What's your name?
My name is Ivy.
Ivy?
Ivy.
I'm Andrew.
Hi, Andrew. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
But, the biggest thing is that child trafficking goes on.
Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, I heard some of the protesters screaming about, them being, what is that, sex offenders and human trafficking. And
Danny Masterson,
if you believe that this is a prison planet already and you've got it cleared, it kind of sounds like genocide to me. Maybe that, that's why a lot of people have been, also, talking about stopping the genocide all over the place. Spiritually as well as, physically and...
Right. But, they...
Sexually and...
Right, because Danny
racially.
Masterson, they covered up his crimes for 20 years.
Oh, wow. What kind of crimes?
RAPE.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and not just one girl.
Has he been convicted? Or?
Yes, he has been convicted, and he has been
And Danny Masterson, isn't that an actor?
Yeah, from that 70s show in the ranch.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, he's convicted 30 to life is what he got.
And he's still in prison?
Well, he just was convicted last year. And
wow.
Scientology covered it up because...
For 20 years, huh?
Because...
And he finally got it.
Right, because Scientologists are not allowed to report other Scientologists to civil authorities.
That's against the religion?
Correct.
Good.
And these women did go to the higher-ups in Scientology, and they do something called auditing and sect checking and whatever. I don't want to go into a lot of details. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Right.
But in Scientology, you're not a victim. They make the ones that were...
Are you recording this?
Yes. Just our voices.
Right.
I'm sorry. I lost track. I'm getting old and senile. I forget what I'm talking about. Anyways, they make the women feel like they are the victims. And that's how Scientology is. If something happens to you, for Scientologists, they say, what did you do to pull it in? So it's your fault if something bad happens to you. You pulled it in. And so they weren't even considered victims. And it's
that's
sad.
crazy for the rape cases that he wasn't charged with or that he was charged with.
Well, he was charged with 3 of them. He was convicted on 2 of them. And there are other women that have claimed that he also did that to them.
Oh, that's terrible.
It is. And if you check out SPTV on YouTube, There's a
Yeah.
lot of ex-Scientologists, they call themselves second gens. They were kind of born into it. And it's disgusting what this cult does
what
to
year
families.
was Scientology founded?
1950
Oh, that's
by
what I
L.
thought.
Ron Hubbard. And Dianetics was the first thing. And he was, been known to say...
So right after World War II, roughly.
Yes. And, he has been known to say, best way to make money is to be a church so you get tax exemption.
Yeah, not-for-profits have their uses, that's for sure.
Right. And at one time they did have their tax exemption taken away from them because they discovered, L. Ron Hubbard and using the money for his personal use, I guess. And then David Miscavige came in after L. Ron Hubbard died, and I think it was in 1991 they got their tax exemption back because they harassed the IRS non-stop and did what they call fair game. Another thing, it goes deep. And I think that, and they personally harassed IRS agents, and I think they just finally caved and gave up and gave them the tax exemption back. And here we are today. And these protests of Scientology are going on all over the country and even in other countries.
Are they opening up new hubs all over, or is this just something that's randomly done, or
No,
was this planned for a while?
it's been planned, oh God, I forget how many years. David Miscavige and wanted to create what's called ideal orbs. They just opened up a new one in Austin, Texas last weekend.
Nice.
And this weekend's here. And these buildings, they have been standing empty for like over 4 years or more. But they have to open them now. I believe, I could be wrong, that if you have a building that you've purchased, I think this is true in Austin, I don't know about Chicago, that if you're tax exempt and you buy a building, if you do not open it within 4 years, they're no longer tax exempt.
Oh, wow.
And so that's why they just opened the Austin Org, I believe, is because they were getting ready to have to pay taxes. And I'm wondering if that's the same thing with this in Chicago, but I do not know if that's true or not.
Yeah, I heard something about intellectual property misuse and infringing on people's rights. That's the only thing that really brought to my attention. I didn't even know this was going on today. I was walking to the library and I ran across this, and it was kind of a private party. I know some people feel like their intellectual property is being misused.
Yes.
And, as far as with, Scientologists, I'm sure, their technology is pretty much at the top of the line as you could get as far as the civilian organization goes. And, I wonder where they sit as far as that goes. Because, like you said, you think they're a cult. A lot of people just think they're a sect.
Yes. Cult and sect is the same thing, isn't it?
Relatively, yeah. A cult's a little more inflammatory. A sect's usually just, a spin-off of, a bigger religion.
Another kind of an arm.
Like being a Lutheran off of Catholicism,
Sure.
and then being a Calvinist off of being a Lutheran.
Right. I understand what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Mormons and the Latter-day Saints, and they split off, and there's
Right.
different sects of it.
Exactly.
Understood.
Yep.
So anyways, so you're okay with them being here, or?
I don't know how I feel about it yet. That's why I'm
Okay.
here, trying
Okay.
to get a feel for it.
Well, like I said, I would suggest that you go to SPTV on YouTube, and there are, I don't know how many, there's Aaron at Growing Up in Scientology, there's Nora Ames, Natalie Webster, Serge Del Mar, these are people that were all born and raised in this cult. And when you go on YouTube, it has, too many of similar stories for it not to be true.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
I really hope you do, and I hope they don't snag you. If they want you to take a free personality test, refuse.
Right. How technology's so interlinked now, a lot of people believe that's what's keeping us together, and that there's real power in, just I don't know if it's the AI, you know, just as far as like the advertisements, you know, being funneled towards what you enjoy doing most and who you are most, or you know, if it's just similarities, like-minded people,
Right.
you know, finally coming together and starting to join a movement, because that's what it seems like it's all about now.
And that's why it is so hard for Scientology to combat what is happening in today's world, is because they can only follow L. Ron Hubbard's writings, which were in 1950, and there was no YouTube back then.
This is true.
So
Yeah.
it's
Well, it was a pleasure
difficult.
meeting you.
You also.
You know, enjoy.
Take care and keep your eyes open.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.